Happy Sunday. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Today is such a glorious day. Such a blessed day. Hello, hello, hello. I'm on break right now. Let me turn my car off so y'all won't hear that engine. But I'm on break. We have games today. I had uploaded a little video and I was walking in the gym and I was like, this video is taking forever. It took almost an hour to upload. Then when I walked out of the gym, it uploaded. And I deleted it. I said, forget it. My son told me we have another game at 5. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to go live. Let me delete this video. So I know some of y'all caught it because I saw some of y'all liked it. But I decided to come here in the flesh, live and in color. I would like to be at home in this rainy weather, rubbing my feet together under my covers. But y'all know, duty calls, duty calls. Happy Sunday. I see some of y'all tapping in. Oh, I see that thing is pinned at the bottom. Okay, Facebook. Happy Sunday, happy Sunday. I'm not going to be on here long, guys, because this is actually like my lunch break. Lunch break in between games. We already had one, and we won by 20-some points. I have a few highlights that I'm going to post. But I found this. We're actually in an area that's not our area. I'm not quite familiar, and I don't want to go too far because I don't like to go places where I don't really know my surroundings. But I found this little steak and I think it's a steak and shrimp spot. I think that's what it is. So I'm gonna go in there and have me some lunch by myself until our next game. Hi, Robert Bowe, Lisa Fitzpatrick. Oh, you got 2 names on there. So what y'all got going on today? What's on the agenda? Y'all cooking? No cooking for me. I might throw something. I don't know, maybe later. I think I might just grab something. Hi. Hello, hello, hello. I was just sitting here and I was going into earlier. I was sitting in the car because, you know, we get to the games and we make it there probably about an hour because they have to be there an hour before the actual game starts. And I was just sitting there for a whole hour in the car. And I was just thinking, and I was like, you know what? It's funny how life is, you know, and sometimes, you know, we find ourselves in situations and circumstances. Hi, Garnisha. Eating. That's what you're doing, eating? We find ourselves in situations. And once we're in the situations, most often, if the situation, it could be relationships, it can be friendships, it can be marriages, you know, y'all know this is kind of always like near and dear to me. And, you know, sometimes when things don't go right or things don't work out and people end up going their separate ways. I was talking to my girlfriend about this last night. And the very thing that people run from in relationships or marriages or friendships or circumstances or situationships be the exact same thing that they end up running to. And what we often get to see is what we had in that particular situation, the issue that what it may have been, whether it be, I say control, whether it be a person felt as if time was not efficient, or any of the things that, what we say is our love languages. So I can use that. So if you feel that you're not being fulfilled in your love language, and sometimes if there's pressure in the relationship, people oftentimes try to leave it so that they can avoid accountability in that particular situation that they're already in, and end up running to the very same thing that they ran from. Now, I don't like to use certain words, but I'm going to use this one. If you sow a good seed, you reap a good harvest. So if you sow a bad seed, you reap a bad harvest. Most times we like to call that karma, but I don't like to use that word karma. But oftentimes the very thing you run from is the very thing you run to. And when you run to that thing, you end up getting your butt spanked. You hear me? You get spanked. And it's amazing how God will give you just a little bit of eyesight, a little bit of peek into what's going on. And I said, you know what? You get to see God be whipping they butts. You hear me? Tear they tails up. So the very thing they run from is the very thing they run to. And baby, listen here. It's an ugly sight. And we never like to say we are happy of anyone's downfall or their karma. But it's just amazing how the universe works. It's really amazing. It's amazing how it works. And then they find themselves in situations, or you find yourself in situations, and you be like, dang, this one I wasn't trying to be a part of. So I just want to come out here and give y'all that little message. I was going to do a video, but I said, let me come tap in with the people on Sunday, on this good Sunday. Maybe the very thing they ran from just wasn't who they wanted to. Well, you know what? That can be true too. But oftentimes, I don't necessarily think that it's not who. I think it's what. So we find ourselves, we look for pleasure in situations. And then the very thing, well, you know how sometimes, what's that saying? Sometimes you think the grass is greener. When you flip that grass over, when you go to the other side where you thought it was green, it ain't nothing but dirt over there. So that's my whole analogy and my thought behind it. Keep running, will never learn to deal with anyone. Yeah, that's true. Because we have to learn how to face ourselves, and it's called accountability. And sometimes I think that in situations, relationships, marriages, whatever, manipulationships, relationships, I think that when people run, they often they try to avoid accountability. And the very thing that they're avoiding, the accountability, is what they try to run from. But guess what? Whatever you run from in life, if you don't get it there, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be the same thing. Whatever it is you're running from, you're going to run into the same thing over there. Just like that particular woman or man, you might be like, I'm trying to get away from this old nagging, like they just nag. But guess what? Get on over there. After a couple months, that one gonna be nagging too. Hi, Layla. So I don't know, that message was on my spirit, but it's just amazing how God works. Also, people want people who top they can play on. Yeah, that's true too now. And sometimes, you know what? Sometimes you can let people think they playing on your top. Because I've done that. I've done that a lot. Sometimes in my life, I've noticed that I'll sit back and I'll let a person think they playing on my top. And I'll just, and I think y'all have heard me say this before. That line I have, I might rub my nose up against that line. I know how far I want to go. But I already have a mental note in my mind just how far I'm going to go. Might get up to it, rub your nose, be like, nah, I ain't going to go that far. But all along, I'm taking mental notes. So when I'm taking mental notes, I like to say that I'm calculated in the way that I move and how I do things. So I'm not reactive. I think before I react. So all along, in any situation I've ever been in, I'm always taking mental notes. And then sometimes there are a lot of things that I see that I may not say anything about. There's a lot of mannerisms I may pick up on. I may not say anything about. Low-key shade. What else? What else you encounter in situations? It can be anything. Just anything. And my intuition, my discernment is sharp. So I can pick up on stuff, and a person may not think I'm picking up on it. But those little ticky notes, I put them there. And then it just kind of just evolves. We'll keep running into it until face the day and deal with accountability. Yep, that's it. And oftentimes, we don't like to look inside. And I always say that this is my favorite saying, because I do it too. I say, sometimes you got to look at that man in the mirror. And that man, when I say that man in the mirror, I can mean woman in the mirror. Because I look in the mirror too. Sometimes I'll get in my mirror and I'll be like, okay, this, and this. What did you attribute to this? What did you learn from it? And what are you going to do with the information that you learned? So yeah, we always have to take accountability and go within. Because there's always something within us that we can work on. There's always something, whether, I can talk about this. We were speaking about this last night with a friend of mine, and we were talking about people-pleasing behavior. And sometimes we don't realize that, hi Mecca, people-pleasing behavior, sometimes I think that can be a trauma too, because we were talking about traumas that you grow up with. And I was trying to think, I was like, I can't recall any trauma that I had as a child. And I was just like, what is it? And my girlfriend, she was saying, well, you just always go above and beyond, or you always try to see the best in people. And she told me, she said, and you kind of put yourself out there. You always want to be the helper. You always want to be the one. If somebody's going through something, you always want to help pull them out of it. You always want to. And I was like, you know what? Is that what it is? And which I've stopped at now. But she said, yeah, because I'm trying to pinpoint what it is within me. Because I never had any trauma. I never had trauma growing up that I can pinpoint and say, what is that in me? But my girlfriend made me, she said, you know what? She said, you overextend yourself. And that's what I like to say. But she was saying people-pleasing behavior. But I feel that it comes from an overextending of yourself. And sometimes we have to go within. And you know what? When I started going within, I started to think, you know what? It don't feel good, because that's naturally me. I'm naturally a giver. I'm naturally a person that if I have knowledge or insight on something, I want to share. But that's naturally me. Hi, Ashe. First time here, good topic. Yes. And how do you take something that's naturally a part of you and put it on the back seat? I want to help people. If I have something that can help someone, I don't care what kind of resources it is. I want to give it to them. But oftentimes, we find that when we give so freely of ourselves, people take it for granted. And it kind of ties back to that one video about do not cast your pearls before swine. Swine are people. Our pearls is our knowledge, wisdom, our gifts, spiritual gifts, intuition, your discernment. Because those very things, you don't realize that you can give those things to people. They will trample them and use them to try to revert them back and hurt you with them. Ain't that's something else. Pinpoint yourself. You need a beautiful husband. Well, child, you know what? Child, I've been there, done that. I was sitting here thinking the other day, I was like, do I want to get married again? I had to sit there and think about it. I'm like, because my youngest is in 11th grade. He's 16. Yeah, because being a gatekeeper is not cool. I love help. Exactly. But people will take advantage of it. And I was sitting here the other day, just kind of putting myself back in the mind frame of where I was when I was married. You know what? And marriage is a lot of work. It's easy because I think marriages are as easy as you make them, but it's a lot of work. And I have a 21-year-old, a 19-year-old, and a 16-year-old who is in the 11th grade. Okay? Sometimes God be punishing folks, and then we step in and try to help and think, baby, listen here. You hit the nail on the head. You hear me? And sometimes God is trying to give people their lesson. And we step in to help. And guess what? You start to reap some of what that person is supposed to be getting all along. All of whatever that they have that they're carrying on their back. We step in to help. And we start really realizing like, dang, some things ain't going right in my life. You know, since I met this person. These blessings and all these things that were coming in, it's slowing up. It's slowing up, like, what's going on? But then when you get away, you be like, dang, you see the blessings pouring in again and again, because God is trying to teach that person a lesson. And we too often try to come in and save people, and they're not getting a lesson. They need to be able to get their lesson. So whatever it is that God has for them, if it's for them to hit rock bottom, for them to fall, sometimes we got to take our hands off of it, and we don't realize that. We're trying to save people that haven't gotten their lesson that God is trying to teach them. And then we end up falling into the trap and picking up some of the things that they are carrying, and that's not fair. So I said, you know what, Lord, whatever somebody's dealing with, whatever lesson you're trying to teach them, create in me a clean heart, but help me to understand when I need to help and when I need to step back. Because I don't want to take on nobody else's, I don't want to reap what nobody else is supposed to be harvesting. I don't want to get whatever the universe is trying to show them or teach them. I don't want to have it, baby. I don't want to have it. Because I move from a clean heart, I would like to think so. And when I don't move from a place that I feel it. I feel it inside. And God will check me. He'll tap me and say, you know what? And I pray about it. I say, you know what, Lord, you're right. Even a thought, even whatever it is, convict me. Get that out of me. People like you attract the wrong person. Many times you attract takers. Well, you know what? I won't say a lot of times, because I have some good people in my life. I must say that, you know. And I've had some good relationships. Even though some of my relationships didn't work out, you know, I think my dad always said I look for perfection, but I beg to differ. It's just that I have a certain set of standards and I have boundaries. And if I put standards and boundaries in place and I feel that they're intentionally being ignored or disrespected, you know, like I said, I might sit there and kind of pay attention for a little bit, and I'd be like, you're really, really trying me. Okay, well, let me just sit here a little bit longer just to see, you know. But then I have to go in my mind and think about everything that can go wrong, everything that will go wrong, and everybody around me who my actions are going to affect. Even with you guys, you know, I found myself thinking, okay, how? Because I'm going to move how I want to move. But I always check myself to make sure that I'm moving in a way that is conducive to the atmosphere. So when I find people, it can be my family, it can be my friends, it can be you guys. Because there's a lot of times that y'all don't know I was considering y'all in situations on how I handle things. And I was like, well, how is this going to affect these people? How is it going to affect these people? If these people going to be like this and this people going to... And it stops you from really giving a good message or being able to share, because then you're looking at two different dynamics, two different sides. And then you're like, dang, I really could offer some insight on a lot of things. But how are these people going to take it? And then how are these people going to take it? You know? So then I just kind of find myself in the middle where I say, you know what, Lord, just you direct me on how you want me to handle things. Amen. Amen. Keep speaking. Thank you, Trinity. Yes. Hey, Ebony. Ebony. People like, okay, I read that one. Yeah, so yeah, sometimes it be karma and we have to step aside. Yeah. We have to step aside because God is trying to teach them a lesson. But what you don't realize is that they gonna get that lesson. They gonna get it. I heard you be raising hell. I was like, no, not Miss Season. Oh, I'll be raising hell. But you know what? I will check a sucker. Yeah, I will check you. I will check you. But I might not check you in the way you think, Ebony. So I don't raise hell like that. I'm going to check you in a way that's going to convict your soul. I'm going to check you in a way that you're going to be like, dang. So I'm going to move, like I said about that Cardi B song. It's the flow. When I move, you going to feel that flow. It ain't going to be like, no, no, when I move, you going to feel that flow. It's going to come out. And I think that's what it is. When I was listening to Cardi B album, I realized it wasn't the rap. It wasn't what she was saying. Because I don't care, what kind of music it is. It could be hardcore rap. I could deal with the cursing. I could deal with the WAP. I could deal with all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what? I bounce to that too. But when I got down to it, I had to say, when people kept saying, well, go back and listen, and I started to listen more, and I was listening at her lyrics, and it wasn't the lyrics that got me. I realized it was the actual flow. I was looking for a flow, because I know I'm smooth in my flow when I do things. I just got to say that, I toot my own horn. But I realized I was looking for her flow. Especially since she's been away for a while, I was looking for that smoothness, because I know that's how I move. I move smooth. So that's what I want to see. But I supported the sister anyway, because there's one song on there, and I forgot the name of the song already, but was it Salute? That was the name of the song. I think that's her smoothest flow, and I can roll with that one. You deserve the blessings, and that's to be a wife, a guardian. You know what? I don't know. And I kind of always thought that I did want to be married again. But as your kids get older, you start to look at things different. And I said, my son will be in the 12th grade next year. His last year. He's gifted. He's an amazing student. He's a scholar. And I know he's going to get a scholarship. And I'm sitting here thinking, do I really want to be tied down again in a marriage? Or do I just kind of want to do me and travel and do the things I want to do? Because I really don't want to deal with nobody else, the things that they're not able to face in life, or issues they have, or their daily struggles. I really don't want to deal with that. Because when I'm by myself, I realize that life is smooth. I don't have no issues, because I'm going to get up every day. Y'all see me post my good morning things. No, I eat later. He said he going to eat later. I was trying to give him something to eat. I'll post my good morning post. But everything I need to do for the day, I'm going to do it. I get up in the morning with my kids. They get breakfast. I get them off, with my youngest, get him off. And I'm done with what I need to do for the rest of the day, maybe 2 or 3 hours. And I'm like, you know what? Adding another dynamic to that. I started thinking about how easy my life is about to be and how easy it is now when I ain't dealing with nobody else crap, So guess what? I don't know. So over these months, I just kind of been in a space of reflection, I've been in a space of lean back, not putting too much effort into anything. Whether if it's a dating, I just been leaning back and just kind of, recircling the block even on some of my old friendships that allowed me to lean back, that allowed me not to have to put too much of my effort into it. And they, because y'all know I've said that before. I know what it's like for a person to, let me put it like this. I've been taking care of myself since I was 16 years old. I put myself through college. I did that. I put myself through 4 years of college. And my first job out of high school, 6 months, not out of high school, out of college, was IBM. That was my first job in sales. And ever since then, my life, every job I ever had, it was a Fortune 500 company. Any of the big names, IBM, Compaq. I worked for Cardinal Health. I've worked for Abbott Laboratories. So every job I've ever had has been in computer sales, product sales, IT sales, pharmaceutical sales, or medical sales. That's all my career has been, my whole entire life. And if you guys know, in those type of jobs, you know, they really take care of you. So I've never really had to depend on anyone for anything financial or anything that I need in my life. I've never had to depend on anyone for that. You know, thank God for that. So I did what I was supposed to do straight out of high school, went to college, did those things. And God blessed me with an amazing career. Without saying too much, I'm glad you took a step back, because the love was never reciprocated. I pray God bless you real well. Mecca said I'm very smart. Thank you, Mecca. Passive aggressive. Yeah, sometimes when people are passive aggressive, exactly. That was the word. I pick up on all that. See how I came back to that, what you said? I remember what I was thinking. Passive aggressive, subliminals, any type of shade. I pick up on it. Cardi did. She came with the lyrics. I did. I'm going to listen to it again. That's your favorite song, Drea? Salute. Yeah. Salute. Did you listen to everything? No, I didn't. You know what? I'm going to listen to that today. That's how you feel about marriage. Yes, Drea. Hey, thank you. My dad's going wonderful. We're at basketball games. Y'all know that when the season starts, we back in the fall season. So, you know, y'all know I get happy. I got a video from today when I walked in the gym. Boy, they had that music popping. I'm going to have to put that. I'm going to share that with y'all. Have fun, girls, so you don't have to report in and have to move to the up. Yeah. Because, Ebony, every time I allow someone into my life, I realize that my life on that smooth pattern that I have, it takes me off of my pattern. And I'm like, dang, you're carrying everybody else's burdens and situations, but your own stuff is smooth sailing. Because I'm going to handle my business, whatever I got to do. I'm going to do what I got to do. Have a good day. What are some of your outlets? Some of my outlets. You know what, D? That's my outlets is whatever I want to do when I want to do it. You know, outside of what I have to do for my family, like last night I went out. I mean, and I had a great time. I'm not really a planner. I just get up and do what I want to do. I move how I feel. You know, if I feel like doing something that day, I don't care if, y'all know I love to eat. I love to go to dinner. I love to travel. I love to be near the water. I do love those things. So, I was thinking about that. Y'all know I always said that, you know, I'm building my home in Belize. So I just want to be near the water. Want to travel more. I want to travel more with my kids too. We all have passports. So we've all done the traveling thing. That's why I'm staying single. I like my peace and space. I know that's right, Ronette. Ebony got me thinking of the song, Lean Back, Lean Back. And baby, look, I've been in some situations that I've been able to lean back. And I was thinking about this earlier. I remember one relationship I was in. And I never had to do anything in a relationship. And we dated for quite a while. I wasn't ready for marriage because I had just got out of a marriage about 6 months prior to me meeting this particular person. And we would travel everywhere, you know. We would travel, we'd be everywhere. He even took me to China. I walked the Great Wall of China. We flew into, Shanghai. We stayed there at the Swiss Hotel. Because if you know one thing about China, within like Facebook and all this stuff is blocked. You cannot get on Facebook or any of that. But within like a 15-mile radius right in the city of Shanghai, that's where you can, you know, get on your internet and see Facebook and things like that. And I coordinated this whole trip. We didn't even have a guide. So from us getting from the hotel to the Swiss Hotel. We used the underground transportation system. I coordinated everything. So we stayed in Shanghai for a couple days, and then we flew over to Beijing and walked the Great Wall, and on our way back we took the bullet train. So I've had some great experiences, like I told you guys about. I've been to Hawaii, I've been to Mexico, I've been to South Africa and stayed on a private game reserve. I've been and I've been to all the 50 states, so I'm not gonna even, name those places. St. Lucia, stayed at Jade Mountain. Only 32, never been married, and it's sad. It feel that way. I know that's right, Cynthia. Well, you know what? Ain't nothing wrong with trying it. I don't have any regrets. I really, really don't. I can't say I had any regrets about it. But, when it's time to end, it's time to end. And I'm one of those type of people that when I feel it in my spirit that something has to end, I have the gift of goodbye. And no matter, I don't care if it's a relationship, situationship, or marriage. When I get that nudge, I bounce. No matter, I deal with the consequences or whatever the fallout or whatever pain or hurt I'm going to have to deal with after that. I make a conscious decision to say it's time to go. So I bounce. Yeah. Great evening to you too, Sandra. Thank you. T. Hey, Miss Season, I love to hear you speak. Have a blessed day on purpose. Thank you, love. I received that. God got you, boo. Okay, God got you too. Thanks, T. Just go with the flow. The sky is the limit. To get to the masters of the dogs. Nah, you know what? I'm done with that too. Michelle, I'm done with all that. I had enough schooling, I could take the skills I got, and I don't really need to do that. At this time in my life, I don't need to do that. I'm not going back to school. Nah, this life is for me right here. No, I don't speak Spanish, but where did I go? I remember when I went to Dominican Republic before. I couldn't speak a lick of Spanish, but I was using that translator app. And that worked for me. Yeah, so just lean back, and back to that person who said, what are my outlets? My outlets are just anything. And I had a friend that was saying that they make all these things about, what you call the boards that they make at the beginning of the year? When they put all the stuff from the magazines, what they call those? Vision boards, that kind of stuff. I don't get that. I understand some people need to see something to have a vision, but as for me, I don't need to see a vision. My greatest thing for me is my notes in my phone. My notes in my phone. Everything I do, every thought I have, everything go in there. I mean, and that's what I need. I don't need to have something to staple and tap and stick to a board to tell me what it is I need to do, because I know what I need to do in life. I know what I need to do. So my outlets, whatever I want to do, So yeah, but one of the best outlets that I do have is when I go into that isolation period in my life. That isolation, boy, let me tell you what. When you go into an isolation period and you buckle down and you surrender and you ask God to allow the Holy Spirit to move within you, to open your eyes of understanding, to help you to see things before you ever see it, let me tell you, that's the best outlet I ever have. When I go into that space of isolation, I can see everything around me. Everything. I see it clearly. I see it very clearly. You have too much going on for yourself and family to stay stagnant. Yeah. But you know what? I've never been stagnant. I can't see that. Even if I've been in situations and people thought I was stagnant, I still was moving. Blue's so pretty. Wear my favorite color, blue. Okay, blue. I like that name too. Yeah, vision board. You get it every year. Yeah, I just never did that. Because I know what the heck I need to do. I know how much money I want to make that year. I already know if I said I want to buy a car 8 months later. I had said I wanted to buy a car actually this year for Christmas. And one day I woke up and I was thinking, you know what? I want to get me a car. But then I said, but my youngest is going to college next year. And I was thinking, I want a luxury car. And I said, should I get the luxury car now? Because then that means I'm going to have to turn around, even though he didn't have his license at the moment. I said, I'm going to have to turn around and get him something. And I said, let me just get something that I like, you know, and I like the hybrids. It does save on gas. And I said, but something that when he goes off to college next year, you know, it'll be his car. And even though I feel that this is too much of a car for him right now, but in 2 years it won't be. So, you know, yeah, I know what I need to do. I know how I need to move. I know what I need to bring into my life. I know what I need to cut out of my life. You going through that right now? Yeah. All right, D. Hey, beautiful. Hi, Rosemary. I hope I'm not missing any of you guys. Hi, Bonita. Yeah, but I mean that's a good word for today. Y'all just don't try to carry the burdens of the world on your shoulder. Don't try to carry other people's burden. Like they say, that's not your cross to bear. That ain't your cross to bear, baby. Let them carry their own water. And whatever's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. But whatever they running from, whatever that accountability is, whatever it is, whatever the situation they running from, they run to that very same situation and find themselves getting whooped. Okay? Getting whoop, whoop, whoop. Yes, I bought a luxury car for my birthday. Yeah, I know. Good for you. Thank you, luxury car. Thank you, loving the message you're always conveying. I try. Hey, LaShawn. You miss me? Yeah. Hey, yeah. Yeah, I miss you. I've noticed a lot of new people are coming in. I think that, and I love that. I love that for me, that a lot of new people are coming in for my videos. And I thank you guys that I've noticed that for 3 weeks straight. Miss Season and The Real Miss Season has been popular. It's been trending. And what that means, if you all don't know, if you've been typing in my name and you see popular under it, that means that people are actually going to the search bar and typing in my name, The Real Miss Season or Miss Season, because they are looking for me. So that's what that means when you see popular by my name. That means that they're actually typing in my name to find me. So I'm reaching a whole other audience. I'm reaching new people. And I want to do that. I want to bring in more people who are going to be able to. Unfortunately, I hope that they couldn't resonate with this message, but my message that I'm putting out here is so critical. I want you all to understand that, and understand that there's so many people out here in this world who are dealing with situations in relationships and in life in general. You know, you always have to remember that the devil is busy. And my grandmother used to always tell me, and when I was a young girl, she used to say, the biggest trick that the devil ever played on the world was to make people think he didn't exist. And I want you all to understand that when you're getting in these situations and relationships, that you need to understand that love treats you good. Love knows how to respect you. Love knows how to honor you. Love knows how to do the things that you need done. If someone is treating you bad, if someone is talking to you in a disrespectful manner, calling you out of your name, putting you down, emotionally draining you, mentally draining you, physically draining you, psychologically draining you, making you doubt your reality, you all need to understand that that is the trick of the enemy. It is the spirit of Leviathan. I need for you guys, if you have not gone to look it up, Leviathan was Lucifer's brother. And you guys need to understand that spirit is the spirit of manipulation, the spirit of control. And I want you guys to stay mindful, stay watchful, get out of those relationships, get out of those situations that you think are love and they're toxic and it's push and pull and we're fighting this and I got to hold this over this person's head to keep this person here and let me coerce this person and make this person think, okay, I got this over them. If they don't stay here with me, I'm going to reveal this about them. I'm going to put this out there about them. Listen, that's not love. Love is not when someone takes things that you have shared with them in confidence. It's not that they take those things and use them and hold them over your head. That's not love, baby. That's the devil. That's the enemy. That's the trick of the enemy. And the enemy will make you think that. And what you guys find yourself in, you find yourself in this emotional loop. And you think it's love. And then when when you're pushing and pulling and you're fussing and fighting, and then you come back together after that, and then you're like, ooh, that's that oxytocin. Oxytocin, when you find yourself in those loops, it's just like a drug. And then you relax, and then you make up, and that makeup feels just good enough, like, whoo, maybe it wasn't that bad. Or, whoo, this is love. That's not love. That's the trick of the enemy. Okay? So I need for y'all to understand that, yes, Kiara, it's definitely not love. I need y'all to understand that it's something deep within you that you're going to have to break. It's a core. And I didn't realize this until my deliverance. And, I'm never going to stop talking about that, because I know I started to feel things months and months and months, prior to that, God was doing something in my life. Because sometimes that person could have a bad day, especially if they're going through something bad. That's done it before. Well, LaShawn, I'm not talking about that kind of thing. You'll know if you're in a toxic relationship, in an emotional loop. Those who get it, they get it, baby. Because it ain't just no one-time thing. It's something where, a person is deliberately trying to control you with gaslighting methods and manipulation. Those are the trick of the enemy. And you're going to find yourself where you're just emotionally weighed down. You're going to find yourself like, dang, it's like even the heaviness, you'll feel it on your shoulders. You'll feel it within you. You'll even start to notice that your very breath will feel like it's being taken away. And I want y'all to understand what that is. You will feel that your breath can come almost to a whisper. And that's your spirit. Your spirit is speaking. And your spirit is trying to tell you to get out before you even realize it. Before your mouth can even say it, before your mouth can say it, your spirit is going to alert you that you need to get out. Whether it be your voice is going to get low, you're going to feel a heaviness, whether it's you get real emotional. And I'm not just talking about no crying because your feelings got hurt about something, or you got into an argument with your man, or something happened with you and your kids, or your friends. Yeah. Kiara, exactly. And I can say that it don't necessarily always, you will question yourself, but when you understand the patterns, you won't really question yourself. You'll be like, this mug trying to play on my top, And sometimes you gotta kind of, don't let them play on your top, but you sit in the cut and let them think that they playing on your top just as much as they think they playing on your top, okay? Let them think it for a little while. Don't ever tell them that what you really thinking. Don't tell them that you leaving until you leaving, okay? Let that leave be the leave. And I'm going to tell you another thing. If you have any bank accounts, if you have anything of significant value that's tied to these people, remove them from your bank accounts. Remove them. I don't care what they are, that they're attached to financially of yours. Remove them. Because the minute you leave, or the minute you tell them that you're going to leave, they're going to drain your bank account. They're going to financially abuse you. They're going to do everything in their power to take you down. And another thing that just came to my mind that I never did, thank God. I've never been the type to share deep dark secrets with men that I date. Never in my whole entire life. So I've never shared things that a man or friends, girlfriend, could come back later, could use it to hurt me with. So y'all stop telling these men y'all business. Stop telling them y'all business. Stop thinking that you're bonding with these men, with these friends, with these girlfriends, telling them your business. Because I'm going to tell you about that emotional loop and those toxic relationships. When you start to share things with these men, when you get out of those relationships with them, or these narcissists, or these emotional manipulators, they will try to take the very thing that you share with them in confidence, and they will try to hold it over your head, okay? They will try to hold it over your head just so you won't leave, to keep you in that loop, to keep you bound to deception, to immorality, to all of that demonic behavior. But I'm going to tell you, that's what it is. It's demonic behavior. Don't share nothing with them, because I ain't going to let nobody be able to hold nothing over on my head. Never. Never. So I don't tell people things that they can later come back and use. If I tell you something, trust me, and if y'all know me, whoever, if you know, my girlfriends know me, and if you've ever had a conversation with me, y'all know I can talk. I can bop. I can talk for hours and hours. I look up, we be on the phone 5 hours, 8 hours. And anybody that know me, any relationship I've been in, they know we sit on the phone for hours. We even fall asleep on the phone, you know. Any relationship, any dating situation, you know, they know I can talk. But I can talk about everything else. But what they can't tell you is that they know my business. I talk about everything else that they can't say. She told me this about her. Or I know this about her. Or they can't tuck it in their head and say, later, I'm going to try to use this against her. So y'all stop telling these people your business, okay? And especially these men, because they will try to hold it over your head. Don't tell them nothing, okay? Take it to Jesus, okay? What about kids with them? Whew, baby, that's a tough one. You know, thank God that, you know, I didn't deal with that in my marriage. So my ex was not a narcissist. He was not an emotional manipulator. He was not a type person like that at all. So I did not deal with that. And that's the man that I have all 3 of my sons by. So I have 3 sons by him. So when you find yourself in a situation like that, you can still do no contact with that person, but make sure that you get everything legally done. Have it done before the courts, because they will use those kids against you as well. Those men will take those kids and they will brainwash those kids against you. They will tell those kids things in secret and in privacy, things that will make those kids come and ask you when they get back around mommy or daddy. And same for women, because I'm gonna tell you what, these women are almost men are manipulators and they're narcissists, yeah. But I don't want to use this word, but they dumb in their movement. They dumb. Especially when they come across a woman who got some savviness about herself and who can say, I know you are an emotional manipulator and I know I'm a narcissist and I'm going to stick around just enough so you can think that you tricking me, but I'm going to flip the script on you. But them women manipulators and narcissists, let me tell you what, they get them men a run for their money. Do you hear me? Because y'all know a woman is a woman, we just be on it. Just our nature, intuition, just discernment. But when you find 2 of them, a male narcissist and a female narcissist coming together, that female narcissist is going to give that man a run for his money every single time. And that man, the male narcissist or emotional manipulator or spiritual manipulator, will think that he getting over on that woman. He'll think, I can handle her. No, she's not going to be able to do that. Man, that female narcissist will have that man so tied up, he won't even know. He won't know light from dark. He won't know which way he coming and which way he going. And guess what? It's by design, because they need to be together. Female narcissists and male narcissists need to be together. They need to whip each other butt and do all that manipulation and emotional control and gaslight. They need to do that with each other. So I've always, when I was in a relationship, I'll tell people, be with who you are. Be with the person. Be with the person who you a reflection are. So the person who you are, whatever you reflect, that's who you need to be with. Because we don't want that. Most narcissists have some kind of childhood trauma. I believe that. Yes, I believe that. And some of them have adult trauma too. You know, not just childhood trauma. Some of them have adult trauma. Thank you all for the stars. I'll go back and thank you all individually once I get off. So, yeah, baby. Now that dynamic right there, that's the one I'm studying right now, is the female narcissist or manipulator and the male narcissist manipulator. Y'all know what? Woo! If y'all ever saw somebody tear each other tail up, that's the dynamic right there. That's the dynamic. And that's the dynamic they need to be in. And I ain't gonna lie, when God give me that peak, I don't ever go back and say, I'm never happy for anybody in any type of situation that they going through anything or no downfall. But I ain't gonna lie, God be giving me a peek into things, and I see, and I'll be like, okay. No, God, I ain't relishing in this. But I thank you for letting me see that, because now I see the dynamic, you know? I see the dynamic, the chaos, and I see you saved me. I see why you moved the way that you did. I see why, Lord. I see. Yeah, but when you got them kids, Kiara, you got to stay in their head. You got to stay in their head. And I'm going to tell you something, like, you know, when you sit down and you talk to your kids, don't do that baby talk with them. Tell them, whatever go on in my house, it stay here. I don't care when you go to your granny house, your auntie house, your daddy house. Do not. This is our home. This is our foundation. This is our stability. And what we need to do is, we are a team within this household. And unless somebody is harming you, that's a different story. But whatever goes on in our house is our business. I taught my kids that from a very young age. They were probably 3, 4, and 5. And I just always instilled that in them. And give them language to use. So the language I would have my kids, that when they would go visit people, and if they would ask them something about me, my language for them, I don't know, you have to ask my mom. That's the language you give them. So not only do you tell your kids what situations to look out for, but you also give them the language. I don't know, you got to ask my mom. And I told my kids, and that's all they ever have to say. I don't know, you got to ask my mom. I don't know, you got to ask my mom. I don't know, you got to ask my mom. That's our language. To this day, my kids ain't going to talk nothing up out of my house. They ain't going to talk about it, and they going to say, I don't know, go ask my mom. But, yeah, when you have those kids, make sure that your contact, don't go back and forth to that one person, because I already know why you're asking me that. Don't go back and forth, whether it be emotional. Don't go back and forth, whether it be arguing with them. If you're upset, don't let them see you cry. You got to gray rock them suckers. You got to be like, you know what? When they come around and they trying to start, they're picking fights and just whatever the devil playing on their top about, you just got to be firm. Be like, okay, yeah, you finished? All right. Okay. All right. That's called gray rocking. That's what you got to do to them. Don't give them that energy. I don't care if you cursing them back out, you're going back and forth, Don't give them that. Don't even give them, and sometimes I know things might hurt your feelings because you believe that. How could a person, my battery going, so I'm going to have to turn my air on, and then it's starting to rain in my, even the emotional side of it. And I know a lot of things can hurt your feelings because we're only human. And yes, sometimes things will hurt your feelings. Can you all hear me still good? Because my engine in this car is kind of loud. And that's why I always turn my car off. But they even thrive off of your emotions. They thrive off of you crying. You trying to make sense of, why is this person hurting you? Why is this person, you're trying to have a conversation with this person, and you're going back and forth and you're trying to make sense of it. You like, this just don't make no sense. It's not gonna make any sense, because the person that you are dealing with, they not who they are. They have on a mask, and they are in disguise. At the end of that relationship, the person who they are at the end is who they are. The nasty person. The person who says the most despicable things. You think they nasty now? Well, wait till they know that you're done with them and you leave them and you have to have a conversation with them afterwards. They gonna say some of the ugliest things to you, even if you never cursed that person out, even if you never raised your voice at that person, if you never said them. They gonna say some of the nastiest things to you by text or over the phone. And you're going to be like, who is this person? Like, I don't even know this person. They even go so far as to tell you that you got stuff in your head. That's the narcissist's favorite line. That's in your head. When they tell you that, something in your head, they trying to gaslight you and make you think that what you know and what you see that is not true. But it's true. They'll tell you it's all in your head. It ain't in your head, baby. You dealing with the spirit of Leviathan. And once you leave, I don't care how much it hurt. I don't care how many tears you shed. I don't care if you got to strip naked and go in your prayer closet, baby, and get on your knees and pray and ask God to break that cord, break that soul tie, break that whatever that is, to get it off of you. And tell God, you tell God, God, this is too much for me to handle. I can't handle this, Lord. God, that's your child. Take this off of me. You're going to have to go to God like that. Because even when I go back to speaking about my girl, she know who she is. Don't go back and forth. They feed off of that. That's their ammunition. The best thing you can ever do in that situation is when you leave, don't look back. Don't look for revenge. Don't try to get back at them, because they gonna try to get revenge on you. Even if you didn't try to get revenge on them, they'll tell you too. Even if you're civil when things end. I want the best for you. I'm going to be happy if you move on and, you end up being with somebody. I understand your stance. I understand why you want to move on. But the minute you start dating, or the minute they see that you really moved on, or you're dealing with somebody else, man, you're going to see the devil come out in them. Okay? And they're going to do everything they can to provoke you. And the crazy part is they're going to try to provoke you, and they're going to keep poking. And they're going to try to provoke you. And they're going to do things to you that nobody else going to see, but you going to see. And they're going to use terms and words and things that you guys may have spoke about that nobody else going to know. But they're going to poke. These jokers will go out here and get in a marriage that they ain't had no they don't even want to be in, and think they're going to antagonize you. They'll go get in a situation, whatever. They'll go get married, even if they don't want to get married, just to aggravate you, thinking they're going to aggravate you. But what they don't realize is that when God breaks that cord, when he breaks that soul tie, that emotional connection that you have to that person, once God breaks that, you really don't give up, So they just really spinning around. What was that thing, that Tasmanian devil? Y'all know I used to spin around like crazy. No, they don't realize that you really don't even care. And you see it for what it is. But what they start doing at that point, to anybody who can relate, and also my girl, they're going to start, they want you to react. That poking, the subliminals, they're going to call your phone, they're going to harass you, they're going to send things to you, and they'll say things even through text they want you to respond back. Don't ever respond back. Because see, when people do things or they say things to me, and I know that what they saying and doing is bull crap, I send them the boomerangs back. I might send about 10 boomerangs. They know what that means. Because see, I'm not going to sit there and go back and forth and argue with nobody. I'm not going to go back and forth. That's not me. So when I know that you on some BS, in my text message, and people know if you receive them boomerangs from me, I'm going to send you about 10. That means everything you wishing from me, them boomerangs coming back on you. That's for you. Because guess what? You're not the author of my life. God is the author of my life. Yep. Once God stepped in, And then don't worry about the people around you who yapping and bumping their gums that don't really know what's going on. But if you know, you know. It's spiritual warfare, and it's here to take you down. That person, I don't care if you're married to them. I don't care if you got kids with them. Their goal ain't to just hurt your feelings and curse you out and make you feel inferior or make you feel insecure. No, baby, they want to take you down, okay? They want you down on the ground where you can't even get up. They want you low as a snake's belly, okay? They want you down so low that when you look up, you're gonna be looking at the dirt. That's where they want you at. Because they want you to always have to depend on them, and they want you to think that you can't make it in life. Even if you situated and you stable or you financially stable, they'll try to use your emotions to make you think, are you sure you ready for this? Because you know if you leave me, you know what that's going to mean, that that I'm going to move on. They'll try to use all that to make you think that them moving on going to bother you, or you already know they going to move on because you already moved on. You be like, no, I'm good. It might hurt me for a little bit, but guess what? I know what I'm dealing with, And I always say, I'm not afraid of snakes. I'm just afraid when I don't know where they are. And baby, when I know where them snakes are, I don't care. I can be around you, but I'm taking notes. And I know just how to chop that head off of that snake, okay? So y'all wake up out here. These people out here playing games. And back to that part about the provoking. They gonna poke, they gonna poke every button in that arsenal, every weapon they got. They gonna use it. They gonna twist it. If that don't work, they gonna try something else. If that don't work, they gonna even go to the extremes of things to get a reaction out of you. The actual extreme. You gonna be like, is this person really doing all of this just to get my attention? Just to get a reaction? Just to provoke me? Because they want that reaction. Y'all got to stay woke. They want that reaction. They want you to lose control. They want you to get on social media or wherever in front of the family and go to family and cussing and going off. You know why they want that? So they could say, I told you she was crazy. I told you she was crazy. Y'all see how she acting. That's why she acting like that. Or that's why he acting like that. He crashing out. When they done sat there and poked every button in your arsenal, every button they got, they done poked it. And they tried to poke it every which way but loose. But let them poke them buttons. You sit back and you watch them buttons, because I'm going to tell you what. You're going to see them spin out of control. Let them poke every button. And you just sit there. You sit there just like this. And let them keep poking. Let them keep searching for a reaction, because that reaction that they're searching for, they want it so that they can paint you out to be the bad guy. They want to paint you out to be the crazy person. They want to paint you out to be someone who's unstable, so they can play victim and people can run to their aid. But let them spin out of control, okay? Let them spin, baby. Let them spin till their head spin off, okay? They feed off the energy. Good, bad, or indifferent, they feed off of it. But that's something I always knew about people like that. So I've always been able to say, okay, I like to see what they gonna do next, y'all. Y'all might think that's crazy, but I'm not gonna lie. I've been in situations and I've seen emotional manipulators or narcissists, because I can speak from these situations because I've dated a couple narcissists, okay? So I can speak from this, not only from an educational standpoint, but also from an experience standpoint. So, hey, my baby. Hey, Shanique. I'm going to tell you, it's a funny thing to see the lengths that they will go through to try to provoke a reaction for you. It's really funny. It's funny. I sit there and be like, do this clown know what they be doing? Do these clowns know what they be doing? So let them keep provoking, even with your kids. Just get in your kids' head, because I be in mine like this even to this day. Get in your kids' head. Don't talk about mommy, or the men. The men too. Because these women be tearing y'all, these women narcissists be tearing y'all a new tail. They be putting y'all through the ringer. So I ain't just talking about the men, honey. I'm talking about the women too. Yeah. Because they think they are, men oftentimes think that they are matched for these female narcissists. But them female narcissists, baby, they a whole new level. You know, because y'all know our intuition as women is stronger anyway. We pick up on things quicker. We mature faster. You know, all those good things. So, yeah, no energy. When I say no energy, when they provoking and trying to push your buttons, no energy. Just watch them spiral. Just watch each time they try to provoke you or provoke a reaction. Just watch the next thing they do. Then the next thing that's what I like to see. Then the next thing they do. Then the next thing. And you gonna be like, damn, this clown don't even realize it. I'm sitting there watching. I see the things that they do. And I'm getting a kick out of watching you spin and keep trying to do things to provoke a reaction. And here they are up here. And guess what happens by that time? By that time, y'all, guess what happened? After you laughing at them, provoke, and they keep up. Now, okay, it's back. Hi, Mr. Sander. It's funny. I hope y'all didn't miss it. It's funny watching them provoke you. And every level, they go up a level. Every level, they go up. And when you sit there and watch that, it's quite a sight to see. And I like to see that part. Because I like to see just how much they're willing to spiral out of control to provoke a reaction from you that you're never going to get. When you're not giving them the attention, they stop at nothing to get it. I learned that from you learned that from your ex-husband. Once you stop going back and forth with him, he hated it. His ways only got worse to get a reaction out of it. Okay, and guess what finally happens though? Once they have exhausted every option they can to provoke a reaction out of you, they stop. They stop. And I don't know if they stop forever, but they stop for a while. Because they realize they looking like a fool. Then they realize that everybody around them starting to see that they are the problem, okay? That's what starts to happen. So they don't realize while they're provoking you, provoking, and they're spinning and spiraling out of control and doing things that looks absolutely foolish, that the very people that are around, their eyes start to open. The scales come off of everybody's eyes and everybody looking at them like, I get it. And that's how you beat a narcissist or an emotional manipulator. You don't beat them pound for pound, fight by fight. You beat them by when everybody else sees it for themselves or uncovers it. Because in my video I did yesterday, the young lady that I had interaction with, she is ready to go. I'm not going to tell her story but one of the things that stuck out to me that she asked me, she said, well, how am I going to let everybody know what he doing and what he doing? And how am I going to let them know that what he been doing to me? I said, don't worry about that. I said, because you just worry about getting to safety. Because your very soul is at stake. This ain't just no regular relationship. Your spirit, when things hit you spirit deep and soul deep, when things come out of your mouth, even to that person, and I'm not talking about in an ugly way, it could be logical. When it come out of your mouth, that your spirit is saying it before you do. I know I've said things to people that I'd be like later, what made me say that? And down the road, I'd be like, dang, that was my spirit touched it. My spirit saw it before I did, And that's what happens. So once they spiral and people, that's the thing, people find them out for themselves. So that young lady was worried about that. And I told her, baby, you worry about the wrong things. You got to worry about saving your soul, because that's what's at stake. Your very soul is at stake. And can't nobody tell me that it ain't. Because I know it. I'm not going to ever speak about something that I don't know or that's something I hadn't experienced myself. I'm never going to come on here and speak about something that I hadn't experienced or know myself. You will even feel when the cord has been cut. When your soul tie has been broken, you're going to feel it. Okay? And then guess what happens? When you feel that and you don't do the wrong things and you don't have the wrong intentions, don't worry about what they gonna do. Don't worry about who they gonna be with. Don't worry about them provoking you. Let them keep provoking, because they gonna provoke themselves. And by the time they finish provoking themselves and making a fool out of themselves, everybody who need to see who they really are, exactly, time to, they gonna see it. And at that point, that's when you reap your harvest. And you gonna get what God has for you, because you stayed in your rightful position, the position that God has for you. The things you prayed for, pray your way up out of it, baby. When I tell you, and I ain't talking about, we say, pray, pray, pray. I'm not just talking about pray. And I ain't talking about you got to have no long, drawn out prayer. When I tell you them prayers where you asking God to allow the Holy Spirit to come in, to touch your spirit, to touch your generations, to break them soul ties, to break them generational curses, to break those ancestral sins, to go in and convict your heart, anything you're doing that's wrong, anything within you that he disapproves of, that he remove it from you. Anyone that's in your circle that is there to kill, steal, or destroy, to remove them, put a fire around you. And your kids, your loved ones, put a fire around you. And anyone that seeks to hurt you, that every time they try to touch you, it's like they get burned. You got to have them kind of prayers. Those are the type of prayers you got to pray. That God will go through your whole entire family. Break those generational curses. The monitoring spirits. Remove those monitoring spirits out of your life. Remove it. Okay? So, y'all know I don't want to get too preachy. I know I can get long-winded sometimes. But I feel good getting that out. I really do. Every time I go there, every time I go there and I start speaking like that, no lie, you can feel it's heavy, you know? And it lets me know that what I'm doing, that God wants me to do it. He wants me to do it. Yeah. God wants me to. God got a place for me. God has a place for you too. And I'm going to tell you another thing too I want to say. You can help people. You can help people when they down on their luck. They can be at the very worst. You can help them with all your resources. You can put all your people, you can put your whole team around them. You can build things up for them. You can do right by them. You can give them conversation in the midnight hours throughout the day. You can help them financially set up their things where they can get paid. I ain't never took care of no man, you know, so I'm not speaking like that. Now, if I'm dating somebody and, you know, I'll treat, you know, from time to time they treat, you know, but I never had to do that. But them very people, and they can know you've been good to them, you could set your whole team. Because I got a team of people that, you know, that are very resourceful. Like, you know, a PR, an attorney, you know. I got several people, I won't say who else. But when I have people in my space, I bless them with my people too. And I bless them with the things that God blessed me in my life. And when you surround your very own people, your family, your resources around people, and they try to do things to discredit you or try to do things to tarnish your gifts, that's an evil person. That's evil. And I ain't gonna play no games about that. Because if I put my resources around you, I might go to my resources and I might say, hey, I can't vouch for this person no more. But I'm gonna let you, because we still good. If you choose to still work with this person or deal with them, I respect you. But I'm letting you know, just moving forward, I can't vouch for them. Because I saw some things and see some things that I don't like, and that's not sitting right in my spirit. So I can't do it. So if you interact with this person on any level, you know, It's on your own accord because I can't be a part of it. But you know, y'all, this was a good message. And I'm tired. I ain't gonna lie, when God put things on me like that and I have to speak it, I can tell. It's almost like it drains that battery, boy, but then you get it out and you're like, whoo, Lord, I know that you wanted that message to be out there. So, let me see. Girl, right, Shanique? Yeah. Keep going, yeah. I'm putting all my resources back. Everybody I put around you to make you look good. Everybody I put around you. That when you people see you shining and looking good and they think you doing that, no, that's me. That was me. That was me, okay? I'm taking all my resources. And I'm going to let them know. I'm not going to be dirty. I let them know. I ain't going to let them know. I already let them know. I can't mess with that person no more. Because I see some things I don't like. I don't. But if you do, you can. But one thing about my people, I can still tell them, you can deal with this person, you can whatever. I don't care. It could be marketing, it can be products, it can be public relations, it can be attorneys. When I tell my people that I'm not messing with you no more, but they can. They know me. They know where I'm coming from. They know I have a good heart. They know in my spirit that my intentions are pure. They know if I say I ain't messing with you, even if I tell them they can, they ain't gonna mess with you. So you don't even have to try to run to my people. You ain't gotta run to them, because my people already know, baby. They know. So, oh Lord. So I want y'all to have a wonderful evening. Y'all know I was going into the steak place. It's 4:30. I did not plan on being here that long. I planned on coming to talk to y'all for about 30 minutes and then going in and eating some steak. I saw steak and shrimp. Now I'm hungry. And the game's starting in 30 minutes. But I want to leave y'all with this. When people are in your life, y'all need to learn how to appreciate it. You ungrateful people. You ungrateful people. You need to learn how to, I'm going to use the word that my girl, Chatty Cathy, likes to use. So y'all go over there and follow Chatty Cathy on YouTube. She's my favorite. I like her favorite, my news anchor. So go follow Chatty Cathy. I'll put her link in my comments on YouTube. Y'all need to learn how to have some decorum about yourself, like Chatty says. Because some of y'all foul and you move foul. And people will help you out with everything in them. And you will turn around and try to snake the very people who have pulled you up out of that hole. Okay? Y'all need to learn some decorum, like Chatty say. So I want y'all to have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. Because we're going on our second game. I'm going to post a little clip earlier. So I ain't going to call it. I'm in the hood where we come over here and play. You know, we don't live in this area. But I ain't going to lie. These boys be balling. You hear me? And I'm going to say this. When my son first started training, because he been training since he was in 3rd grade. This why I used to bring him. Because I used to tell him, look, y'all suburban kids, y'all don't know what it's like. Y'all be playing ball. I be tell my son, I said, I'm taking you over here in the hood. So I would bring my son over here, let them get roughed up. I remember days having my son being in training and me literally having to lift him and tote him out of training like this because he done got beat up so much. I say, these suburban kids don't know what it's like. You got to get on that court. When I say play aggressive, I mean, you leaving on the court, all that. But my son, once he put them skills together, now he can shimmy it. He can, he can get in there with the best of them. But yeah, like they say, I wasn't born and raised in the hood. But I tell you what, I definitely have an affinity for it. Because these boys be hungry. They be hungry. I've seen some of them. One kid told me, one day I saw him, this was last year. He was walking and he didn't have a coat. And I said, baby, where your coat at? And he said, man, I don't need no coat. He said, I'm used to it. It was freezing outside. He had short sleeves on. And he was getting on the bus. He said he gets the bus from school. He gets the bus from home, So wherever he got to go, he's on public transportation, and the kid was no more than like 14, 15. And he spoke so well. And I said, you know what? I had to tell my son, kids who struggle, who have to go and get it out the mud, who don't have a silver spoon in their mouth, they appreciate things more. You know, that kid ended up getting a scholarship, a football scholarship to a major university. And I'm so proud of him. He was like, no, ma'am, I don't need one. I was like, where your mom? I don't know. Man, I'm so proud of that kid. And I'm happy that was laid on my spirit today, because I'm going to reach out. If I don't reach out today, I'm going to reach out tomorrow. Because that always intrigued me. And I had to tell my son that y'all suburban kids. You know, my son had SAT yesterday. And he woke up. He said, Mom, why I got to take the SAT today? He said, we got PSAT next week. I said, do you realize I paid for this? I said, no, you just woke up on Saturday morning and you realize you got to be there at 7:45. And you thinking that, you know, since the practice SAT is next week, why are you taking the SAT? I said, no, you're going to go up in here and you're going to take this SAT today. And then next week, whatever the school give you out of PSAT, you can take that too. All that's just practice. But we need for you to score the highest that you can. And I told him the best teacher is your experience. So you go in here at 16 years old and take this SAT. So therefore, when you take the SAT the next time, because you're going to take it every time, because I want to make sure that you get a higher score. You know, we're going to make sure that you get into these colleges. But yeah, so these suburban kids, honey, they be having a silver spoon in their mouth. And you got to try to find a healthy balance between it to let them know that things ain't always sweet. We made it sweet. Okay? So y'all, you know, y'all love on yourselves. Take care of yourself. It's Sunday. It's a beautiful day. I'm doing what I love to do on this day. Besides, you know, the Lord's Day. Is to, you know, support my son. I love to see him out there. I love it. But y'all have a wonderful Sunday. And I hope that what I had to say touched some of you. And may God continue to bless you and your families each and every day. Protect you. And may anything that come into your life that seeks to kill, steal, and destroy, may God take it and revert it back to the enemy. And may it be returned to sender. In the name of Jesus. Y'all go be great. Love on yourselves and each other and have a wonderful day. Okay. Oh, Tisa, what'd you say? You did the same exact thing with your daughter. Okay. Yeah, it is. It's raining here. Yeah. And I missed my lunch, so I'm hungry. And I don't know what I'm going to do. But I love y'all. And until next time, I can't say when, but y'all see my videos and y'all make sure y'all like them, comment, and be gentle to the people who, if you can't relate to my videos, there's so many that can. It's so many people suffering so deep wounds, spirit, that things are touching their spirit. Be gentle, be kind in the comments. And always remember that my messages are not about no one particular person. My message is about anyone who's an emotional manipulator, anyone who's a narcissist, anyone who tries to take who gaslights, who tries to take a person's emotions and weaponize them against them. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about all of those folks, okay? So whoever falls into that category, baby, if the shoe fit, wear it. I'm talking to all of those people, okay? Enjoy the rest of your day, and may you be blessed in the name of Jesus. All right, thank you, Tisa. Bye. No, we're not gentle to the witches. Baby, they could get burned at the stake, baby. Love y'all. Take care.